Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Screen Rot Podcast, the podcast where we discuss the weirdest and worst content that's been rotting our screens and indeed our minds. Shout out to everyone who subscribes over on Apple, on Spotify, on YouTube. Big shout out to all the patrons who pay their way for this podcast. The $3.99 Freemasons who get an extra episode every week at the moment. The Illuminati members on $5.99 a month, they get an extra hat sent to them. An extra hat, just the original hat, really. One hat, don't expect any more than that. Sign up.
Great considerable financial loss to us.
We're struggling.
We're struggling, man.
Patron, you get an extra episode, $3.99 a month. You get priority access to tickets that sell out in a fucking day. Shout out to Eugene, who runs our Twitter account. He may have been sent by God. Happy birthday to God, by the way. And shout out to the ladies who listen, who are indeed some of the most gorgeous and sexy ladies in the United Kingdom. I'm here, as always, with Jake Farrell.
At my flat.
Yeah. So to address that...
people that are watching will have noticed we're not in our usual...
It's all gone Pete Tong. They've booted us out. My agent's dropped me. We're out of there. And now we're not. We are recording mid-lull. We're in the lull, aren't we?
How do you feel about the phrase betwixtmas?
What? I don't know what bloody day it is.
Well, yeah, that's one part of it. But like, I think it's now officially... I think it's probably happened like 2 or 3 years ago. I started noticing that it'd be like, you'd get adverts for hotels being like, come and visit us in Betwixtmas.
Oh, really?
Have the most beautiful, scrummy, luscious time in Betwixtmas.
Well, do you know what? So basically we're recording this in Jake's flat in the kind of lull between Christmas and New Year because...
I don't know what bloody day it is.
Well, yeah, and we need to get an episode out and the office is shut, so we can't get in there, so we're in here.
I was also ill before Christmas on the day that we were due to record.
Well before Christmas. It doesn't, yeah.
Therefore...
Anyway.
Record at my flat. Punishment fits the crime.
Beautiful place to be. I don't know. It is mad, this bit.
Yes.
Like, I don't know about you. I don't... It's such a fucking like dad thing to say. I'm just spending so much money. I don't know about you. I'm drinking every day.
Yes.
I like every day may as well be a fucking Saturday.
Yeah,
There's
right.
football on
a lot
every day. Like, I don't know what's going on. There is always a pub with football show, and I'm just buying stuff. I don't know about you. I'm just fucking. Like you're saying about these hotels advertising. You don't need to advertise. I'll pay something.
Yeah, it's all
Every day I'm doing 60 quid. I don't know how. I don't know what on. I go to the shop every fucking day.
I mean, it's like, how much cheese would you usually eat in the average month versus how much cheese are you doing at the moment?
God,
that's the tough thing, isn't it?
Yeah. I feel unhealthy. I've had my glass of water. I've ended dry. Dry. I like no water. December is over for me. I had my big glass of water on Boxing Day, and I've had a couple of glasses since then. But like, yeah. I mean, you know, we could talk about it. I ended up in hospital a couple of nights.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about that? At one point, I thought we weren't even going to make it to this record session. I thought that I would be having to do this podcast live from your funeral.
The hospital bed.
Yeah, that would have been so good. How do you want to spend your last hours? Yeah. I want to talk about Bevo.
Just on the subject of Bevo, by the way, there are extra episodes going out of patrons all the time. We did a very funny one.
Yes, one of the funniest episodes we've done. In general, I think.
Yeah. It came out, would have been like a week or so ago now, where we reveal the truth about Bevo's pornography. I'm happy to use that kind of... how do you describe that?
A tease.
That tease, yeah.
Don't like using the word tease in relation to Bevo and pornography,
well,
but there you go.
But yeah, so as a kind of like headline grabber, kind of, yeah, we do reveal the truth about Bevo's pornography on one of our Patreon episodes. So if you're not signed up...
Podcaster reveals truth about Bevo in foul-mouthed tirade.
We don't watch it. I can't stress enough. We're not sat there. That's not the point of the Patreon, that we can sit there watching Pornhub.
Okay? Right, so this first clip...
Have a look at... Now, when you think about the dialogue with Bonnie Blue, there's a demon behind her eyes, and she's terrifying. Anyway, what were we trying to talk about? Oh yes, hospital. Fucking hell, this is how it happens. So, yeah, okay. So I've been drinking and fucking eating. Yes. I mean, this is the dog.
You've been existing on Stilton and energy drinks for a month.
Oh man, I've been going for it. So, but I've also I had flu in October, which, you know, I went into the doctor, and the doctor was like, God, yeah, we still need to work out what's going on with your heart. Anyone who might remember, I had some ticker problems start of 2024. I was in hospital for a few days. They don't know. I basically got told I've got a big left atrium.
Okay.
I've got a big heart.
You've got a big heart, boy.
I'm a lovable geezer. No, I am. I'm a very kind-hearted man.
You care too deeply.
The valves are good, but it's big. And I've got like the resting heart rate of like a runner. Like I dropped to 30. I drop to 30 beats per minute at night. It's dum.
The thing is, though, I feel like when it's like that, is it? Go on,
Like a blue whale.
It's like a blue whale. Okay. Yeah, like the start of a battle, like the start of a Roman battle.
In the deep. Another Lord of the Rings reference. I do understand you.
I feel like though, if it was like, oh yeah, I've got a resting heart rate of 30, it's like, oh, what do you do for a living? Oh, I'm a Kenyan runner. I'm like, yes, that sounds great. So I've got a resting heart rate of 30. What do you do for a living? I stand on stages in front of people trying to make them laugh.
But then that is
not
something.
as confident.
I know a lot of comedians who've got thyroid problems because of the adrenaline rush of that. Because I know people who've gone to the doctor and they're like, I'm sleeping bad, eating bad, putting on weight, and they're like, well, you've got a thyroid issue, and you've given that to yourself because every night. It's like people go on a roller coaster every night. It's like, well, yeah, that'll make you unwell. Like if you're doing Nemesis Inferno every evening for £200, it's like, yeah, you're gonna die. but the crucial thing with me is I feel nothing. Like nearly every gig, I feel nothing. I don't get the adrenaline rush.
No joy, no.
Just relaxation. I genuinely, Stuart Lee said that years ago. He was like, that's the most relaxing point of my life.
He didn't say that. He went, no, that's the most relaxing.
Yeah, well, it took him 6 minutes to say it, and at the end, he was very clever. He's going to get us on his blog soon. If we keep...
Stu, my audience are fat.
If we keep turning up in The Guardian, he'll find out about us, and he'll listen, and then he'll write something horrible about us on his blog. It's not his blog, it's a website. He pays WordPress.
Anyway, so you've got ticket troubles.
So, so I've had ticket problems for a long time. And then a couple of nights ago, basically, Mrs. is upstairs. She's gone to bed early because the kid's a bit sick. La-di-da. She's laying in our bed. Both the kids are in our bed because they're unwell. I'm downstairs enjoying Christmas. Mother-in-law's gone. Mother-in-law went that morning, right? So really, stress levels are lower. Yeah,
Yes.
she's gone. She's staying with us over Christmas, but she's gone to see a mate for a couple of days in Amersham. So
The celebratory firework display's finished.
Yeah.
That's done.
Been raving for hours. No, but so I'm laying on the sofa.
Yeah.
And basically, I'm terrified I'm going to fucking die. They don't know what's going on with this heart.
You're awake, aren't you, brother?
Yeah. Right. So my chest tightens.
Right.
And shooting pains, like on the left-hand side, but going up and down like that. And I think I'm going to die, right?
You jammy git.
Yeah. I don't know why I did this. I basically, because Alana, I mean, she's loved my life, but also she's got medical, she's a midwife, she works as a
She
nurse
knows what to do.
She
Calm
knows
under
what to
pressure
do.
as well.
Like, the thing to do is to phone a fucking ambulance. I've got my phone in my hand, and for some reason I start climbing the stairs, hands and knees, because I'm in so much fucking pain, and I can't even scream.
Like DiCaprio on Quaaludes.
Yeah, exactly. I crawl outside and go, Lana. Call the ambulance. Call the ambulance. I'm dying, Lana. And I wake up the kids. The kids are fucking screaming because I'm on the floor.
Yeah.
I'm going, call the ambulance. I'm in pain. And I'm like crying. I'm in so much pain.
You think this is it?
She baby, what's going on? Kids are screaming. She phones the ambulance. Ambulance basically go, we're busy, good luck. So I think I'm having a fucking heart attack.
Yeah.
She phones the ambulance and says, he's got heart problems, he's in agony, he can't get up. They go, get to hospital. She goes, could you bring him? They go, no. So order a fucking Uber, right?
You ordered an Uber.
What else am I going to fucking do?
No, I know you're not. I'm not saying you should have done it. I'm not victim blaming.
Go and hail one down.
I'm just saying it's a funny thing. It's a funny thing to have to do.
That's what you have to do.
Yeah.
When you're dying in the UK in 2024, you start looking for Ubers. You start deciding whether Bolt or Uber would be faster.
Did you tip him?
Huh?
Did you tip him?
I nearly fucking punched him.
Why?
Because he wouldn't let me in.
Why?
Because Alana ordered it on her phone.
Right.
And I can barely speak. I'm outside. It's freezing. And I'm like, please have me to hospital. And he goes, what's your name? And I go, Jacob. And he goes, it's not for Jacob. I'm like, let me in the fucking car. I've obviously not called it myself.
I can't speak. I can't speak.
It's 11:30 on a fucking... it's not a Friday night. Obviously, it's for me.
Yeah.
Get to hospital. Stagger through reception. Look, heart problems, please. I'm in so much pain. Hell, I think I'm dying. Look, I've been dying for 15 minutes at this point, so I'm probably not dying. But do you know what I mean? I can't rule it out. So they're like, okay, all the fucking drunks and vagrants in Whittington A&E, it's like, move out of the way. he's gonna die.
Yeah, the host of the Screen Rock podcast.
They sit me in the corner. Yeah, in my fucking orange CP company jacket.
Oh, you had time to get the CP coat. Yeah,
everyone hates that coat.
Yeah, me included.
And I'm sat there, and she's going, "We're gonna get someone fast. Don't worry, we're gonna get someone fast."
Right.
And it's like, I've got the little thing, so I think I'm gonna be sick from the pain. And I'm fucking there, and I'm in my head. I'm like, this could be it. This could be the end. I've not had a chance to say goodbye to my kids.
Yeah.
Right. My missus wasn't short with me, but it's not how I'd like to end it. Her sort of being like, could you die a bit more quietly because you're waking the kids up?
That's the thing with healthcare professionals; they've just seen it all so many times.
She's seen it all. She's probably lost partners in the past. She's from Ireland. You have to have a few to make sure something's.
You had your phone on you, so you could have posted on the Rotter group chat if you had 5 minutes to go. So that is a solace to us all.
Shout out to healthcare workers. So I'm there thinking I'm about to fucking die. So much pain.
Yeah.
And and they're running around. Someone's going to come in a minute. And then my AirPod falls out my ear without thinking. I've been moving very gently because any sudden movement makes the chest pain worse.
Right.
I've been moving very slowly, crawling around, blah, blah, blah. But then because my AirPod drops, I go whoop to catch it. Doing that must have pulled something. I let out a burp that's like my soul leaving my body,
like when the Witch King gets stabbed at the end of Lord of the Rings 3.
This is it. Or like when the Dementors suck your soul out in Harry Potter. This thing just fucking falls out of me. And it's like going on long enough that I can try and quiet it down at the end.
Amazing.
Do you know what I mean? The first bit of the burp is really loud. And I feel fine after that.
Just like complete relief, immediate relief.
It's just like, I've been a silly little boy. It's like, but the problem is they fucking, I can't say.
No.
I can't be like, all good actually, Doc.
Actually, I'm
fine. I sort of have to sit there still sort of doing the pose of someone who might be dying. They fucking get me in, ECGs, X-rays, blood tests, 2 lots of ECGs, 2 lots of blood tests. The whole time just sort of sat there like, quite like to go home.
Didn't confess the burp.
No. Doctor rules everything out, and then at the end, the doctor's like, it could be gastric, and I'm like,
What makes you say that?
He's like, have you been eating and drinking more than usual? I'm like, 28th of December, Doc, you fucking work it out. I stink of Stilton and Stella. What do you fucking think? Been sat in your waiting room farting for 2.5 hours. So
you don't use any electrical appliances where you kind of breathe in and huff on it.
Oh yeah.
You don't do any
eyes
artificial
rolling around
breathing.
like a slot machine while I stink of mango kush.
You have a very nice coat for a vagrant.
Yeah, people hate that coat. We got a tweet someone the other day was like, I think I've just seen you at the Arsenal game. Sort of love the show, thumbs up, and then but that coat is fucking awful. 4 people, I always really like this. But 4 people said hello at the Arsenal game. One guy, shout out Matt, who said hello at Arsenal Ipswich. Who he's a patron. He's coming on the 31st to the Rosses.
Legend.
He gave his wife a rotter hat for Christmas.
What?
I don't know that.
Is she a rotter?
He introduced me to her, and she's like, I just got this hat. I think she listens a bit.
A bit.
Like, I don't know if she wanted a hat.
How much did she think it cost as well?
Well, if she's listening, he's paying $5.99 a month, and I have checked. He's not downgraded. Anyway, we should get into things.
I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're not dead.
I'm glad I'm not dead.
I'm glad that it was gastric rather than cardiac.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, this just gives us a whole new lease of life, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's one of those.
I've been given another chance.
I've been sent back.
Spirit, what is it? No, what does he call him? Spectre.
Spectre.
Spectre. Yeah. Please, Spectre.
Please, Spectre.
Spectre.
Yeah.
I've been spared.
And
yes.
you're going to use that extra time you've been given to take the piss out of internet personalities.
To talk about 2 little...
These guys are good. I'm looking forward to these guys today.
2 little fellas.
2 fancy boys.
Do you know what? I've been leaving a lot of comments on their Instagram page.
Nice. What have you been saying? Oh, we can.
Have you not seen?
No, I've not seen.
Oh, they're demented. I keep saying I called them gorgeous little freaks at one point. A lot of people like that.
I don't know.
Kept saying I wanted to pick them up and put them in my pocket.
Okay.
Is there any other admin we need to get into? If you want to grow your hair back, if you're experiencing male pattern baldness, aren't we all, brother? Yeah. Then check out Dents, DENSE. A lot of people think I'm joking when I say that. It is true, and you can get 30% off using Jacob30 at checkout. I'm on tour in the next couple of months.
Oh, we got some good ones coming up.
Yeah, we're going around the country. Jake's opening for me.
February the 12th, Birmingham. February the 13th.
Yes.
Leeds.
Yes.
February the 14th. Salford.
Yes.
Yes. Other ones?
Salford, I don't know. I'll think about that afterwards. Oh, Crawley.
Crawley.
Saturday after that.
Bosh.
Brighton people, come to Crawley, please. Like I've said this a lot to Brighton people. They're like, I'm not fucking going to Crawley. Go to Crawley. And yeah, you can check all that out on my Instagram website. Blah 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 blah. Should we get into it?
Yeah.
This week we are talking about two fancy little fellas, two gorgeous little twinks from the north of England. This week we're talking about the Angellboys. Oi, get on this.
Really looking forward to this.
Get on this.
My kind of topic.
Are you into this?
It's like we've spoken about a little bit in the previous episodes. Like, I love talking about Gordon Ramsay. Of course I do. I love talking about, I don't know, who's the other kind of really big names that we've done on here?
Was it like a Jake Humphrey or something like that is kind of less
an old school celebrity.
Yeah, exactly. A TV personality as much as anything.
But they're legible, those people. They are a presenter or a chef. People like this, where you actually have to be like, what is going on here? That's what I like.
And it's also that thing of like, anyone could talk about Gordon Ramsay for an hour.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think you know.
Only real psychos could do this.
This is it. Exactly. Real freaks, man. And I think that's what people need with this podcast. Yeah. Look, we're not stupid. There is that whole thing of like, oh, every straight white man has got a podcast nowadays.
Yes.
And it's like, yeah.
We do.
You know, But we do. I think at the very least, what I think of with us is we do have a niche and we do have a thing. And I think, you know, it's obviously this podcast has got a bit of a format, but specifically it is for this.
Yes.
It's for this. People need us. The Rotters need us.
Yeah.
For this.
With the fifth emergency service.
This is it.
Yeah.
When you look, it's Christmas. Everyone's screen time is through the fucking roof, and it's like, okay, you might have watched Nigella on Christmas Day. You might have watched.
Your
Gavin
dad definitely
Stacey.
did.
Oh, we watched Gavin and Stacey. What a beautiful bit of television. Oh, what a great how the fat people got married in the end. That's what Gavin and Stacey.
You've been listening to my conversations.
Gavin and Stacey.
How'd you find out about that?
Gavin and Stacey is obesity acceptance for 2020. I say that. I haven't watched it. I genuinely have no idea what they look like. I do find the celebration of him, that man, James Corden,
that man,
High Wycombe's fucking answer to Hitler. I find the celebration of him to be grotesque.
I've watched all of Gavin and Stacey, and I've watched like the original series, which is good, like 15 years. It must be almost 20 years old now. Like, he's proper fat in that. Yeah, like he and like a lot of the jokes are at his expense about that. Yeah. He's now kind of LA fat.
This is he's been completely LA'd.
Yes.
Right, and it's like
it doesn't look quite right. He looks authentic in the first few series. It's something about this Christmas special just gone. There's something just off about it. It's not quite believable.
So I have not watched. I've not watched it, right, and I've not gone back and revisited it. I did quite like it years and years ago. 20 years ago when I was a child, I did quite like it. Not for me now.
Yeah.
But what I have seen a bit of is him doing the press tour.
Yes.
Right, I've seen, and he's been LA'd. So, like, you know, Gervais kind of got LA'd.
Yes.
Like, I've seen so many images of like Gervais sort of pottering around Hollywood in like a pair of sunglasses and like really loose fitting like tracksuit bottoms, sort of being mouthy with paparazzi. Like as if he's still
so
this
British.
Yeah, as if he's still this everyman who's not used to it. Like, all right, come on, do your pictures, and then I'll keep walking. All right, yeah, it's gonna fucking slap a trans person. But Cordon's been LA'd to the point where like. The whole point years ago is like he was this kind of southeast of England everyman who let's be honest, we like a bit of that.
Yeah, we like a bit of that.
And
there was some questions about whether he was appropriating geezer culture at some point. But I
think you know what, he's a fucking actor. At the end of the day, like what do people want? It's not like a non-disabled person taking a disabled person's role in a film.
Yeah,
like someone who's maybe lower middle class playing a geezer in a television program.
They could have cast some of the lads we went to school with, but they're not as good actors.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And he was good in it, and he's funny, and he was good on chat shows, and he was good on like panel shows. Like there's plenty of like
Big Fat Quiz of the Year
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, clips of stuff like that where he was all right back in the day.
Golden age, man. Just 6 men just sat there.
Whoa.
Just that Jimmy Carr just seal laughing away. Cordon there.
That's a mad show, Big Fat Quiz of the Year. I watched a clip from like I can't remember what was happening. Something. I mean, maybe it was Russell Brand was in the news. I think it might have been at the time that they were trying to arrest him. They will get him. They will catch him.
They're trying their best.
Doesn't matter how Christian you go, Russ.
They will get you.
You've done it. They're coming. But there was a clip that got shared of him and Noel Fielding.
Right.
Just talking about sexually assaulting Lily Allen while she was in the studio with him. Like that was like a joke from 15 years ago on Big Fat Quiz of the Year. Big Fat Quiz of the Year, it's had an ever so slight rebrand this year.
Has it?
It's called like the Big Quiz of 2024 or something. But it's same studio, Jimmy Carr, and someone who we've been trying to get on our live shows for a few years, or for 6 months or so, but has been on a career break. Joshua Pugh. He's on.
No wonder he's not fucking turning up and doing our live shows.
Anyway,
Gordon. We're talking about
Cordon. Yeah, mate. Oh, he's just doing the press run, and he's got this like real like. Do you know what it is? You know, on a Patron episode, we spoke about the Wicked press tour and how Ariana Grande and that mad English girl are sort of like twiddling fingers and walking around talking like they're on ketamine.
Yeah.
Like, thank you so much. We really needed you to come to this interview. Thank you for being a lady in this room.
They look like a couple of startled racehorses that are about to be put down.
Yes. Like sedated beyond belief. Do you know what they're like? They're like, there's that episode of The Simpsons where they find Mr. Burns in the woods.
Yes.
And he's like all lit up.
Yeah.
And like sort of floating. I bring you peace.
Yeah.
I bring you love.
And he's taken like every drug available to man.
Just pumped him full of fucking everything. And he's sort of levitating in a bedsheet. That's how Cordon's speaking.
Right.
It's
the LA kind of like.
Oh my God.
Emotionality, like it's kind of, I guess it's a lot of like therapeutic language, a lot of like,
but it's also like a kind of like a quietness, a sincerity, and a self-importance. Him and that Ruth Jones, they're sort of getting dragged around.
But she's more normal, isn't she, or is she not?
She's kind of gone. Like she's kind of got that sort of wide-eyed, like, oh my God, we're just so appreciative of everyone who watches this show. I cannot believe it. Nearly 20 years. This is the most important thing. We're just so grateful. We're just so thankful. And like Greg James is sat there being like, yeah, was it funny though? I watched. It was fucking nuts. Because we sort of speak about the good chat. By the way, we'll talk about the Angellboys in about half an hour. Do what some cunt has started doing on the YouTube? Some cunt starts commenting, being like, "This is when they actually start talking."
No
about
way.
It. I delete it. Fuck off.
That's
no,
great.
we'll get on. They're like. I watched the Christmas Graham Norton, right? The Graham Norton from the Saturday Before Christmas. And it annoyed me so much because he's obviously like world class Norton. Like
one of the best we have.
I think he's above Rossi now.
Do you reckon?
I think since
on longevity.
What happened to Rossi? Did Rossi go BBC to ITV? He took the pay packet and fucked it. Yeah. Whereas Graham Norton's BBC now and is like he's king. I'd give him match of the day. I'd give Norton match of the day.
Oh, what's going on down at Stoke?
Yeah, mate, Norton match of the day.
That'd be class.
That's so much better than fucking Mark Chapman and then 2 girls on rotation because they're sorry. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, what was that, Alan? You're saying get tight to his man. He needs to get tight to his man. I wouldn't mind doing that.
Man on, tell me more.
He's camp and it's fun. That links back to the episode. Anyway, come on. We've got to do Cordon.
Yes,
Finish the Cordon stuff.
Just Cordon. I mean, just fucking Graham Norton. He's got these 3 actors. I don't know who any of them are. One of them's Timothy Chalamet, who's dressed insane. But then Cordon's there as guest.
Right.
But he starts asking them questions.
Oh, he starts asking Tim Chalamet questions.
He starts doing questions.
Where does he get the brass balls to do that?
Fucking bollocks on him.
Wow.
What? And he starts instigating like fun little bits. That's Norton's job. Oh. Norton sat there, and I can see he's fucking fed up. He's sat there, like at one point, like Cordon gets them all to sing a little song together. He goes, "Go on, why don't we just do it? Let's just do the song. You sing, we'll sing." And it's like, and you can just see these American actors being like, "What the fuck is going on?" And Norton sat there like, "Okay." And he won't forget it.
That is a real big dick move, isn't it? Because I guess that was Cordon's job in the States. He was like the poor man.
Is he still
no,
doing it?
I think he quit the last year. And to kind of come over here to take our jobs.
Well, and yeah, exactly. Some fat yank coming over and taking poor Graham Norton's
Poor old James
job.
Corden.
But
he's now no longer yank enough to be yank. But
yeah.
But I'm pretty convinced the only reason they made this is because the only lingering positive feeling that anyone has towards James Corden is through the conduit of Gavin and Stacey.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So he needs to relaunch his career.
He needs to remind people that he's Smithy. He can't just be this nutty yank, carpool karaoke guy. Because he obviously probably wants to get a job here again.
Yes.
He probably is eyeing up Norton. And listen, if Norton was to slot into the match of the day hot seat, I wouldn't mind Cord. Anyway, let's go on to the Angellboys.
Norton on match of the day. Cordon doing Norton's show.
Yep.
Wassy doing Sunday brunch. Tim Lovejoy doing Wassy's show.
And what do we get? What falls down to us, brother?
We're doing Football Focus.
Yes.
Are they still doing that?
Yeah, I'd probably
take that.
The
Angellboys.
10 minutes in. How did we get onto it? I don't know. The Angellboys. Basically, two little fellas.
Can I just ask, is the Angellboys a self-declared nickname?
Oh yeah, no, it's their Instagram handle.
Their No, but I mean, like, I know that it's the identity that they go by.
Right, okay,
but
yeah.
it's like, is this a brand that they've created for themselves?
Well, okay, so the other thing that they call themselves is there's a bag that they wear, and they name themselves. There we go, the Birkin Boyfriends.
The Birkin Boyfriends.
So, I mean, this is for the two sort of most heterosexual men in London.
Where's that?
Us. Yeah, but both damned by how hetero we are, right?
Yeah.
This is, I'm watching this, and I'm having to read a lot of comments to understand what's going on. So Birkin is a very expensive bag, handbag.
Yes.
Well, I mean, they wear it, but I don't. See what I mean? I think it's like, I'm not trying to be weird about them. They've got a handbag. They have got a handbag. They call themselves the Handbag Boys.
Well, yes. So
oh my god! Right? Do you know what? I'm just going to risk it. They're two what we call twinks. They're two twinks.
Okay.
Little femme gay guys.
I wonder what my neighbours upstairs thinks going on down here. Why is he shouting twinks for?
Some man in a big orange coat. Is he having some installed in the living room?
What's going on?
So they're two twins.
I swear I've seen the ginger lad with his wife.
They're two little gay. They saw Emma leave an hour ago, and now I've come to install the gay guy. I've got a white van with some twinks in the back. They're two twinks, and their thing is they film themselves living a very lavish life.
Yes.
Right? Unapologetically, and it's almost like
they're together. They're in a romantic relationship.
They're in a romantic. Fuck me, are they? Yeah, they really are, man. They love each other.
These aren't just two friends.
So much. No, they're not.
Two roommates.
They're not pals.
Yeah,
they're not. They're not brothers.
No.
No, they're not. They're two gay fellas in a relationship who. They actually live up north, and they've got Manchester accents. But what they like to do is to come down to London. I think it's the Ritz that they stay in.
Yes.
For 2 weeks at a time.
Yeah.
And they film themselves sort of bopping around, buying things.
Doing fancy stuff.
Yeah, doing fancy stuff.
They're fancy boys doing fancy stuff.
Fancy boys that do fancy stuff.
Like us.
No, I mean, this is it. They like, I don't worry too much. Like, I've sort of tripped over myself a couple of times, sort of, whether they've got a handbag. They've got a handbag.
Yeah.
But
why are you struggling with that so much? I don't know. Loads of people, straight men wear handbags now.
But I don't want.
What year do you think it is?
I don't want to know. But it's the kind of thing that my uncle would use to be homophobic.
Right.
Like 25 years ago, in the 90s.
Yeah.
Like,
but it's just a fact now.
They've got a fucking handbag, haven't they?
Right.
But so I feel weird saying they've got a handbag,
yes.
but their whole thing is that they like handbags. They're the Birkin boys.
Yeah.
They film themselves going around doing this, and they almost do it with a kind of, this is how to live a nice life. If you want to be seen as being elite, tasteful. If you want to show that you live an opulent lifestyle, you must go to Harrods and try the ice cream.
Yes.
Right? Now, we'll watch a clip to get us started, right? Half an hour in. We will watch a clip. The thing... we'll watch it, and I just want to see your reaction.
Yes, right? Okay. So this is the Angellboys, the Birkin boyfriends, and they are at Harrods. Oh, no, sorry, they're at the Ritz in this one. They're sat in a very opulent dining room, and they're about to have what they're saying is a £2,300 glass of champagne. So they're stunningly dressed. They're both wearing very beautiful suits. He's sniffing the champagne. He's got... Is that kind of like makeup or is that Botox? He's got a very contoured face, I would say.
Look at his teeth.
And they're sat in this this incredibly tasteful, beautiful, opulent dining room. There's a harp playing.
Yeah.
And these are clearly marketing themselves as men that like the finer things in life.
That's it. Yeah.
That's the kind of lifestyle that they're selling.
That's the lifestyle that they're selling, right? But and they're claiming a £2,300 glass of champagne.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel like, just say, for instance, you were to get to a level of money, say this podcast becomes the preeminent podcast in the UK.
Yep.
And we're on...
well, I have a word on nearly 30k patrons.
Yeah, so we're on 100k patrons.
Yeah, so let's say it grosses 100k a month.
So we're doing quadruple that. All right, it's gone mental.
Wow.
Yeah. We're Cordon vibes.
Okay.
Would you ever be able to enjoy something that expensive? Do you think, even if you had the money? Do you know what I mean? I don't want to be like, chip on my shoulder. I'm just a working class boy. I don't think there's anywhere I could ever drink a glass of anything that expensive, whiskey, wine, whatever, and be able to actually enjoy it. What does that say about me?
I do have days where I go, I'm not going to think about what I'm spending today, and I do enjoy it.
Yeah, okay.
But those days are like, I'll have a couple of extra pints and a burger. Do you know what I mean? Like,
that would be our name, the Burger Boys.
Or like for my birthday, shout out a chef called Tom Brown.
Oh yeah,
he had me at his restaurant, the Pearly Queen, in Shoreditch, and like, you know, he's very nice and, you know, gave us a couple of bits, but like also I did pay for it.
Yes.
and that night I was like, I'm not going to go, okay, if I have that one, then that one's also £15.
Yeah,
I was just we're just going to have a nice evening.
Yes.
So I am capable of that.
Yes.
I don't love that Monzo does Monzo wraps nowadays. that kind of hinders it a bit. But I think about this, and it's, you know, how good can a glass of £2,300 champagne be? And I think I've told this story on the podcast a long time ago, but summer before last, I went to Ibiza with a real motley crew.
Oh yeah,
me, a mate of mine called Leo, who people would know as playing Bother in Green Street.
Yes.
A mate of mine called Jody, who people might know as playing Lip in Shameless. A guy called Tom Rosenthal, who was in Plebs.
And Jacob Hawley.
And me, and then a couple of others who were there for other reasons. But we went to Ibiza, and it, you know, we had a bit of a sort of, you know, a holiday. but we had someone on the island who worked in PR kind of getting us in places.
Shepherding you.
And she took us to this really nice restaurant called Tatel.
Right.
And I remember talking to Tom Rosenthal. I'm mates with all the other lads, but me and Tom had a bit, because we're both comedians, so we know each other from that.
Right.
I think Tom did a bit of this himself, but very much knew people who did very well off crypto, in the kind of crypto boom of 5-6 years ago. I know people who play poker. There's a few comedians who do like a poker game.
Right.
And it's, you know, they all take it in turns to
big
host.
sums.
Yeah, and I remember at this time, Tom probably wouldn't love me saying this, but I don't care. Tom was doing really well with crypto, and so for Tom's turn to host the poker game, he did it in some like really nice hotel, in the penthouse suite of a hotel,
right,
and had like a professional croupier come.
Wow,
you know, mad. But Tom was basically like, obviously Tom's dad is Jim Rosenthal.
Yes.
Yeah. So Tom grew
Sports broadcasting legend.
Yeah. So Tom grew up all right.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Tom grew up with a fairly nice level of wealth and comfort.
Yeah.
But then Tom had this crypto boom where he could host poker games in penthouse suites of central London hotels, right? And Tom was like, it doesn't actually get better. He basically, and he meant this in a nice way, I think. He was like, your level of life, it gets better from your level of life to how I grew up. Like, he's like, yeah. He was like, that jump is really good.
Yeah.
But then he was like, the jump from like doing really well to then being like a multi-millionaire level. And I don't think he's in the crypto thing. And I think a lot of people lost a bit of money and blah, blah. But he was like, that jump is kind of nothing.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And,
kind of have access to
we're
the
in
same
this
things.
fancy restaurant in Ibiza. And like I've told this before, I couldn't order. I didn't know how to order. I wanted king prawns,
yes,
but the menu had it in like weight. I didn't know what to do.
Ordering by the ton.
They're all ordering fucking like steaks and lobsters and blah 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 blah. I was like, I want the king prawns. I was trying to explain. They fucking basically, I look like a cunt. Everyone else just sat there with their nice plates of food. They could have, like the waiter knew what he was doing. They could have bailed you out. Yeah. Didn't. Brought me out one king prawn.
That's amazing.
One solitary prawn on a fucking plate. Put it in front of me like, there you go, because that's what you asked for.
That is what I wanted.
I'm sat there going, you're right, Tom, it doesn't get better, really, does it?
This is fantastic. The opulence. But I love these boys, man. These fancy boys.
So there's someone who comments on every post going, wake up, babe, the British twinks are drinking expensive champagne.
Right.
Wake up, babe, the British twinks have gone for tea.
Yeah.
And it's the twink thing, I have to say, I love twinks.
Okay.
I would be...
Sorry, can you define...
Yes.
In my head, twinks is like the opposite of bears, right?
Yes.
And bears are like more muscly,
bears
bearded gay men.
Big, hairy, butch
masculine gays.
Thick gays. Yep.
2 C's thick.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm not saying they're stupid. The dumb ones, they're like bears.
Like
they're
Lenny
they're like
from
big old
Mice and
hogs.
Men.
They're fucking...
Lenny was a bear, was it?
Sat there with a little rabbit. No, the bears, they're the big butch ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas the twinks are the femme little skinny ones.
Okay.
Femme being effeminate.
Yeah.
But, fucking hell, I feel like I'm treading such a tightrope with this.
No, I think this is fine.
I think this is all
We're
right.
classifying gay culture.
We need to get a fucking like gay correspondent. You know, we've got Ross, the patron, who gives us like Scottish stuff.
That's true.
It
would be good to have like a jingle as well.
Well, there is. I should say like that. You know, we don't have loads of women. We do have a good sort of LGBTQ community.
Do we?
Who listen, yeah,
that's
yeah,
good to
know. But we should have.
Not anymore, but
yeah, they're all gone because I said they're handbag people. But so I like twinks because I think I would be a twink.
Yeah?
I think, yeah. Because I went to
struggle to grow facial hair.
Yep. Effeminate. I was skinny. Fucking Christmas, brother. I nearly died.
Yeah. You had your gastric incident.
I went to Bear Week. I think I said this on the podcast.
Oh, yeah, in Sitges.
Ages ago as well. I went to Sitges, which is a very kind of like LGBTQ place in Spain. Without meaning to, went to what's known as Bear Week, which is a kind of get-together for international bears.
For stupid gays.
Yeah, for the dumb ones. The ones who can't read. The ones in low-paying jobs. But it was fucking mad. They were flying in from around the world. Like we flew into whichever airport, Alicante, Malaga, wherever you go. And then we're getting like a train to Sitges, the little town. And the train is just full of fucking massive bearded gay guys.
Yeah.
And like, I don't mind saying I was getting some looks. Do you know what I mean? I was getting a few bears were looking at this little twink who'd come to fucking Sitges. Yeah. You know.
I mean, maybe I should be doing this research on my own time. But in Bear Week, is it so that the bears can have it off with other bears, or are they looking for? Well, twinks?
Yeah. There's only bears there. Right,
okay.
Do you know what I mean? But I think in the same way that have you ever been to Have you ever been to Munich for Oktoberfest?
No, but
where you go and drink big steins.
Yeah, I'm interested to hear how the comparison.
So in the same way that the bear weeks are there for bears and they've come to mix with other bears and have it off with bears.
Yes.
And literally, you know, you walk around, it's this little Spanish town, you know, cobbled streets, little cafes and bars and tapas bars and little out, you know, like patio furniture outside, and it's just lined with bears. It's literally just bear,
bears,
little short shorts, tight vests on,
yeah.
Nice beards. They smell amazing, right?
Fantastic.
Fucking the smell of these bears in the sun, it was lovely. But in the same way that if you go to Oktoberfest,
sorry, you go to what?
Oktoberfest. If you go to Oktoberfest,
yeah, I'm at Oktoberfest,
and you're there for the steins,
sure,
and you're doing pilsner after
genau.
pilsner, yeah,
that's
and you've
total schön.
You've flown in for the pilsner. That's why you've gone to Oktoberfest, right?
Oh, yeah, that's the funniest thing you've ever said.
You're there for a Steiner pilsner.
Yes.
If you suddenly see a gin and tonic, if suddenly there's a cool, refreshing little freshen up, a little gin and tonic, suddenly everyone at Oktoberfest is going, huh? Yeah. And in the same way that I was the freshen up, I was the gin and tonic. I was the little fucking skinny tonic and Gordon's fucking prancing through the promenade of Stitches. Every bear went, hello.
Yeah. You know, like when people are on desert island in films, they were like looking at you and you're just a little bottle of Fever Tree bopping down there.
I loved it.
Yeah.
So I like twinks. I'm a twink, right? I am a fucking twink. If I'd have gone the other way...
Can you be a twink if you're not gay? I mean,
no. But I think appearance-wise, I'm very much a twink.
Right.
Yeah. So I like these fellas. I like these twinks. So I'm watching them, and I'm watching reel after reel of these guys. And we might as well just fucking do another one. It's very much more of the same.
Yeah, let's to give you a bit more context on what the Angellboys are like. I think this one's good. This is more of a narrative one. The first one was just them having a glass of champagne, and you're kind of observing the beautiful opulence around them and their beautiful clothes and stuff.
And you watch the first one, and it's 17 seconds,
yes.
And it's like we're having very expensive champagne, and you just see
it's just that
beautiful little Pinocchio fella, very poised, perfect, cheekbones, teeth, eyes.
Kind of looks like a pretty version of Prince Charles.
Yeah, and you can hear.
It looks like the actor that plays Prince Charles in The Crown, who's obviously too good looking to play Prince Charles.
That's it. And then behind the camera, you can hear the other one going, "Oh, goodness gracious, it's nice, isn't it?"
Yes.
I love their voices because it's northern, but then it's also obviously they're sort of pixie-like.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, "Oh, what a lovely glass of champagne."
It's great. And then the guy, and just to reference it back, he smells the champagne and then he kind of puts his hand to his heart. As though he's overcome by how beautiful it is. You know, like when Limmy does that. Limmy does that thing where he's like...
Yeah, Limmy does that.
It's so beautiful.
I do that because I'm dying. I do that because I'm drinking...
He's not having a gastric event.
No. He's lovely.
But this is the Angellboys doing a bit more narrative stuff.
Yes.
So this one's a bit longer. And in this one...
Is this the pen one?
I think it is, yeah.
Come with us to buy...
If we can just hold before this.
Yeah, sure.
I watched the first one, and I very much took it as these are real people, and this is how they live.
Right.
And as you say, you go, fucking 2.5 bags for a glass of champagne. Wow. And then you watch this, and this is when the question starts becoming of, what is this? Like.
Yeah, what's going on here?
Is this legit?
Yes.
Like, first one, I don't think you'd have any questions.
No.
Now you start asking questions.
Yes.
They've built up a big following online. They're selling merch. You can buy tote bags. You can buy hats that say the Angellboys on. Let's just watch this and just have that in your mind.
I think that's a really good point. So this is them, and they're going to do some shopping at the famous stationery shop, Smithson's.
A pen. Today's agenda is to spend the whole day finding the perfect pen. We only like sterling silver pens.
Beautifully dressed.
£2,000 to be exact. These heavy pens in our hands
quite tight trousers on there, accentuating
that
those.
Our love letters will be absolutely perfect. There's nothing worse than wasting ink. One time I wasted a whole cartridge by writing to my Australian friends, only to realise years later that I never ended up posting the letters. The lady kindly asked if we wanted the pen personalised, complimentary, which of course we said yes. It was going to take
They're handling all kinds of fancy
as we waited
bits.
Within the store, we started to wonder if we'd made the right decision. We were going to go for the word angel for Angellboys, or BB for Birkin Boyfriends, but we soon decided that it would only be right for the pen to be engraved with the letters PEN for pen.
That's funny.
That's class.
That's fucking funny.
That's class. Can I just say... Men are class.
Men are class.
All different kinds of men are class.
Men are class. They are class.
They are class.
Now, that is when it's. I think by the end of that video, it's like, okay, this is a piss take. Yeah, come on. We're getting PEN for pen. Also, there's like an insane little bit of dialogue in the middle where he goes, "There's nothing worse than wasting ink. I once used a whole pen to write letters to my Australian friends, and then later found out I hadn't sent the letters."
Well, I think, yeah, you're right.
It just goes nowhere.
It's funny, but like, I guess it's like, what is the... And this is when what I find to be funny about any kind of character, but particularly in the world of like camp characters.
Yes.
Where does the joke end and the knowingness begin, if you know what I mean? So, you know, like I think not the first one to say this, like the way that RuPaul behaves on RuPaul's Drag Race is hilarious.
Yes.
I don't know if you've ever seen it, but like they come at it with a level of seriousness that is so funny. and kind of keep a straight face throughout, if you know what I mean. They don't break on the character.
Yeah.
And like there's a similar level here, I think, of like either they've kind of stumbled into something where they're unintentionally hilarious, but I actually almost want to give them the credit. I think they might just be really funny.
So, yes. So yeah, we'll do another one in a second. You're right, and it is. I think that's a really important distinction that you make of like what kind of is it that thing? Yeah, they're not breaking character.
No.
But what is the character, and who are the people playing the characters?
Yes.
I think that becomes the question then, and why they're doing it.
Right.
What would break my heart is if one day they did a reveal and they're both like northern comedians who've been doing a sketch.
I agree.
I'd hate it.
Yes.
I would hate that so much. If you found out like that they're actually performance artists or actors
100%.
who wanted to build a profile.
I want them to be fancy boys.
And I'm 99% sure they are fancy boys. I think that they are just fancy boys.
Because I think that's fun. It's fun to be a fancy boy.
My suspicion, and we'll watch one more now, but what my suspicion is, they are fancy boys who started putting pictures and videos up of them being fancy boys. And I suspect amongst their friends, they're kind of known as the fancy boys.
Yes.
And I think they've realised...
The algorithm has honed them to a sharp point.
And the way it's honed them, I think they've realised that being fancy boys can wind people up.
Yes.
Yeah? We live in a cost of living crisis. There's what's a crisis on? And they are... Not just flaunting that they're drinking £2,300 champagne or spending a whole day looking for a pen. I mean, one of the things I love, they're unemployed. Like, they don't have a job. What do they need a fucking pen
That's
for?
funny.
Exactly.
That's camp.
They spend ages in the fucking Ritz just pottering around. Our mission today was to buy a pen.
Yeah.
Why do you need a fucking pen?
But it's like, again...
They're lying. They're lying.
Yeah.
That's the brilliant thing. Like, I've checked. You can't buy a £2,300 glass of champagne at the Ritz.
Right, they've just picked a number out of thin air.
They're lying.
That's funny.
So why are they doing that? It's to wind people up.
Yeah.
They're doing it as a wind up.
And the vacuousness of the voiceover, the kind of like empty airhead of the voiceover.
Yeah, exactly. I almost feel like they're kind of like spoofing voiceovers.
Yes,
I almost feel like they're spoofing content.
Yeah.
It's like I suspect there probably are like and I don't see them, but there are like actual people who go around posting stuff like this. And I feel like these fancy boys are kind of taking the piss.
Oh, 100%. There are like, I mean, it's way worse than this. There are genuine fancy boys. There are real fancy boys.
But I think these are genuine fancy boys who, because they haven't got anything to do all day apart from buy a pen,
yes,
they've started taking the piss out of other fancy boys.
I agree.
And there's little things they do that, like... One thing I noticed, they stick their asses out quite a lot.
It's really funny, yeah. It's really funny. But I think that you're right. They're almost the best of both worlds because they're not breaking character and they're not being like, we're fancy boys and here we are, we're going to Wetherspoons and the joke is we're having a pint of Ruddles or whatever.
No, exactly.
They are doing genuine fancy boy stuff, but they're doing it with a likability. And by the way, I think, like, I'm going to admit something to you now. That stationery shop that they've been to there, my mum bought me some paper from there for Christmas.
When? Not this year.
This year.
Fuck off.
Just gone.
Fuck off. Your mum bought you paper?
Yeah.
Why did she buy you?
Because they're like little cards. They're little thank you cards. Because I send her
She
thank
bought
you
you
cards.
a card to say that.
And she got me for Secret Santa, and she got me some fancy boy paper. I am the recipient of a fancy, and I've got some friends in my life who are much fancier boys than me as well, and they like to buy stuff from there also. So I think that they're taking.
What the fuck is going on?
They are.
Your mum gave you paper.
So because
he won't forget to say thanks to me this year. He's got a fucking paper for it now.
And I thought it was a great gift. It's a great gift.
It's not a great. That's a mad gift.
I think I'm a fancy boy. Under this...
no, you are. Look, we're in your flat now. You've got 1,000 fucking books, tasteful furniture.
Fancy boy books, yeah.
This is a fancy boy flat. You are. In fact, you've always been a fancy boy. I will say that. You've always been a fancy boy. You're very clean.
Yes.
Everything's always done nicely.
Right.
It's something I've admired about you, actually, for a long time, is you're a fancy boy.
How fancy I am.
You are. You're a fancy boy. I remember, like, this is the first time I've been to this flat of yours. But years ago, I used to come to your flat a bit more when I lived in South London as well. And I would always come and I'd be like, he's a fancy boy. I remember, like, you just have like a tomato salad on the table that you'd made the night before. You had some left, and we'd have a little bit of tomato salad. I'd be like, that is a fancy boy. You know?
And I know much fancier boys than me.
No, apart from the one time I came to your flat while Oliver was away. You knew this was going to come up.
I knew this was going to happen.
I went to go for a piss. Oh, I'll go see the fancy boy, shall I? Go see the fancy man. Went for a piss and he'd forgot to flush where he'd used the toilet. And there was a shit in the toilet. You weren't very fucking fancy then, were you? You don't see these lads doing that. James and I went to use a bathroom at a friend's house today, and it was such a nice bathroom, hand-pressed towels, and his mother had bought him some lovely thank you cards. The only issue was there was a giant stinking turd in the bowl. Oh god!
Do you know what?
It was like an horrible big brown anaconda just glaring at me as I went in the toilet. I had to get Stuart to come and help me flush it. It was awful.
I remember you came out and I think you were like, "Is everything all right?"
I didn't know what to do.
I still to this day don't know what I did. I think I must have gone in the night and like, oh my god, it's so embarrassing. That was not me at my. That wasn't me at my fanciest.
I could have not said anything. Do you know what I mean? I could have just flushed it and got on with things.
No, I think you were well within your rights to be like, do we need to go to the hospital?
What's going on? You've left a shit.
Emma's been away for 48 hours and you've forgotten how to flush the toilet.
Can we watch an Angellboys? Can we watch one more? Because this is the thing. So like my kind of journey with the Angellboys was going, wow, look how fancy these fancy boys are. Fancy, you know, babe, wake up. The British twinks are buying a pen today, right? Yeah. Then it's like, okay, this is bollocks.
Yes.
But then it's like, so why are they doing it? And I think it is a kind of piss take. But this is a...
Yeah, here's another little narrative one from the Fancy Angellboys.
Come with us to get a coffee.
Look how much he sticks his arse out.
Each morning we visit Harrods to taste the most fabulous
they're
coffee
acting.
in
They're
the
doing
world.
acting, yeah.
Liam always opts for an Americano with extra hot oat milk, and the barista always prepares my favourite, an oat milk latte, wet. We are now on a first-name basis with the barista, and she often recommends us to get a bag. We shook her hand and said yes, and decided to take a bag home.
They know what they're doing.
After all, Harrods coffee is an award-winning blend.
The last shot. Do you see the last shot? Kind of get that, and then
it's brilliant. It's good.
Amazing.
And I think that like what I guess I really admire about them is that they know how to keep you engaged and they know how to make you kind of laugh. But there's just that like slight sliver of like, how real is this?
I think a lot of people are getting hoodwinked.
Right.
I think a lot of people are watching
Yanks.
this and thinking it's legit. Yeah, 100% Yank. Well, this is the thing. It's like, wake up, babe. The British twinks are doing this. It's like if you're calling
Yanks
them British,
don't perceive it really well, do they? They don't.
They've never seen anything fucking like
that,
this.
Yeah.
They've never seen anything like this, and they will have seen a lot of British films where they'll have seen the Ritz and things like that, and they'll be like, "Oh my god, that's London.
Right.
That's how the British twinks are living in London." I was hoodwinked, and the thing, this is what made me definitively know that they, because I was researching and I was like, as is often the case with these people, there's not much on them. Do you know what I mean? Because they popped up on TikTok, popped up on Instagram. There's no website. I mean, I say that there is. You can buy the fucking
there is
merch.
now, yeah.
But like, so I found this interview, and it's a website or magazine called Nylon, right? And the thing is, like, the journalist writes it as a kind of, I went to meet the Angellboys. The Angellboys are these guys. They're from Manchester. They do this, blah blah blah. But the journalist never says. And it's obviously a wind-up.
Right.
So I can't tell if the journalist was hoodwinked.
In on the act.
Or if they'd gone, by the way, this is obviously mad, but keep it up.
Yeah.
We're not doing the interview.
Yeah, right.
But then within the questions, one of them, who would be the 3 headliners of the music festival of your dreams? They say, okay, so you know in the Muppets, the guy that plays the drums, Animal, he'd be number 1, headliner, absolutely. The other one goes, you love him, and then he goes, I love him. Okay. The hair flick, it felt like it was glamorous. The other one goes, Mariah Carey, we love her.
Yes,
the other one,
gay icon.
Mariah Carey would do backing vocals, and then Lisa Simpson as a saxophone player. The other one goes, Mariah Carey would be like, oh wow, come, I'm in the back. You'll be like, well, there's a Muppet and Lisa's there. She'd love it. The best bit of this is, it's fucking nuts. This is fucking mental. And it's really funny.
Yes.
I'd be so gutted if this was a comedian doing this, because I'd be like, oh, fucking hell, that's really good.
Them, yeah.
But this, because it's normal people, I mean, as normal as fancy boys can be. But like, what's a bad habit of yours that you've been meaning to fix? Liam says to James, I know what your bad habit is. James, what is it? Liam, sleeping upside down. James,
what does that mean?
I put my head off the bed. If you let the blood rush to your head, it's really good for your skin. The other one goes, he'll set the time from the kitchen, the one that we don't use, the bird timer, and he'll set it for an hour and a half, and when it pings, he gets up and sleeps in a normal position. Liam, that is probably my bad habit now as well. I've started to time myself with a different timer. Mine's like a sand timer. I'm panic thinking it's not going to buzz, so I'm always looking and thinking, if I'm not going to see whether it's going to go off or not, I'm going to be upside down like a vampire all night.
I think this is like
it's a really funny image.
Funny. And there's and also like I think that I found it really funny when particularly gay people, but also women as well, have a over the top commitment to beauty where they're like, I would rather die than have a wrinkle. I think that's funny.
Yeah.
But what I've noticed in the
they're
news,
beautiful.
They're very
they are gorgeous little fancy boys.
And
I love them.
Yeah. What I've noticed.
I want one. Can I have one? Yeah.
What I've noticed in the news at the moment, or in the last couple of years, I think there's an increasing number of people living exaggerated kind of lifestyles. You see those stories where it's like, here's a couple from Colchester that live like it's the 40s.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
And they drive like an old car, and they've got like they don't have a TV, they just listen to the wireless and whatever. I wonder if there's something about our times where it's so bewildering and so fucked and everything is so uncertain that if you could pick this really specific lifestyle, in this case ironic fancy boys, and stick to it, there's such a comfort in that, in getting up and wearing your beautiful suit every day, in being someone that buys pens. I think that there's something about the bewildering nature of society where you want to retreat into a comfortable aesthetic that you can inhabit. A fiction, fictional aesthetic.
I mean, and I like that it's not. I think often that becomes a hipster thing.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like I think it's a bit of a. I don't think it actually happens, but like you'll hear about people in East London who have a penny farthing.
Yes.
Like my mate Matt, who I did the barbershop with, he went to interview someone for a job to become a barber with us, and he got there. And the guy looked mad, like mad,
right.
Like really over the top tattoos and sort of slicked back hair and blah blah. But it was like mad.
A Victorian strongman.
Yeah, sort of like that. And it was only halfway through the interview that Matt was like, "Anything else I should sort of know about you?" And he went, "Oh, well, I mean, I'm obviously a pirate." And Matt was like, "I beg your pardon?" Because I'm a pirate. Okay, that's why I'm a pirate. It's like,
okay, ma'am. You're unemployed, is what you are.
Yeah. I mean, you're not going to be a barber for us, but good luck on the seventh.
But I guess in a way, what I would say though is like the fiction of the top jaw person. That is they're hiding in plain sight. Those people. Do you know what I mean? People that go on top jaw, that's their identity. They're like, I know where the best hummus in Finchley is.
This is it. Yeah.
At least with these guys, it's like funny and exaggerated, and they are being fancy boys. But like not in the fucking self-satisfied way that the fancy boys who like food on top jaw are fancy boys.
Yeah, and there's no kind of pretense of like, you could do this too.
No. Or that like we're better or more knowing than you.
No.
It's just like we like doing this because we're very fancy boys.
Yeah, and I to be honest with you, I think we can kind of end it there.
Yeah,
I think that is the conclusion.
It's nice to start the year on a positive,
a cheerful one.
Yeah.
And they're boiling piss. Can we just show the last one?
Yeah, sure.
The other thing I think you realise with the fancy boys is they realise how engagement works.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's not people loving them.
No.
There is plenty of that, and they're selling merch. People hate them.
Yeah.
And this is why. Let's just watch this quickly.
This is an 11-second clip, and this is them really flaunting the lifestyle, and this got a lot of people going.
Oh, thank you. That's really kind. Thank you.
They're trying a £165 date.
Look at him. He's like a little
Harrods.
bird. He's like a little pixie bird.
Beautiful.
But it's a date. And again, it's not real. Like,
Doesn't exist.
I've looked. You cannot spend £165 on a date. Why are you doing that? Because you're going to wind people up.
Yes.
You're going to get clicks. You're going to sell bags and in their case hats. And in the same way that they do that, may we just say that for $5.99 if you've disliked us,
the fanciest hat in all of London. Are you a fancy boy or a fancy girl for that matter?
Yeah,
fewer of them, to be fair.
Ladies and gentlemen, hope you've enjoyed the Angel Boys. We'll be back next week with another episode of Scream Up Podcast. God bless the Rotters. See you soon.